so I'm just going to talk you through everything that is here. So we've got the orange tape on the floor, and there's multi-purpose for that. The design on the floor is actually the Ukrainian trident. We were trying to find a creative way so that when we pull out the accordion stairs, they have spike marks. But I kind of hate having little spikes, tapes all over the stage. I think it just looks kind of tacky, like you know it's there even though it's trying not to be there. So I did a tape design so that the actors will know exactly where to pull these out to. And then I'm going to walk up it, onto the stage, downstairs, goes back in. So those are the stairs. So that's the orange on the floor. That is the reasoning behind it. So it's symbolic but also practical. This is all front covering, so these steps, like in the picture we were going to, like in the previous videos, we were going to actually build those steps out of cardboard as well. But we ran out of cardboard and we ran out of time. So this is what we've done instead. We've got stock stairs, so these are made out of wood. And then I've just covered the fronts with the tape and the cardboard, so it matches the rest of the set. Ta-da! This is the wall. I wanted to incorporate that orange tape, and the orange scarf symbolism in the Orange Revolution. So I brought the tape all the way down the sides. I will move the camera angle so you can see that a little bit more. So the tape actually runs all the way down the sides, and then I bring it up the wall. The wall, I wanted something that seemed kind of imposing, something that seemed like there's just always something heavy hanging overhead, you know, throughout the play. And so that's why the boxes on the top jut out a little bit further than the ones on the bottom, so you kind of have this really heavy feeling on the top, and it gets smaller as we go down to the bottom. But with that heaviness, I wanted kind of a hopeful thing in the set. And so it's why I brought this orange up the wall, you know, kind of as a symbol of breaking through that heaviness, that kind of always there heaviness that is kind of happening in the play, and you know, even now in the Ukraine. So so that's that's kind of that. I really wanted, the play actually talks a lot and has a lot of power dynamics. And so as part of the blocking in the play and what me and the director had talked about was having different levels that the characters could stand on and move down. So, and all four characters shift in their power dynamics. No one is predominantly more powerful in this story. They're constantly fluxing. And so what's nice about this is not only do they get to move down the regular stairs, but they're also kind of walking across these things that are structural but don't always look that structural. And so there's this level of, are they going to be safe, or is what they're talking about really that grounded? And so the dialogue in the script really matches the set pieces, which is exciting. It's cool. It's really cool to see. And fun to watch the actors play with these. That was, you know, when you're drawing this stuff out and you're thinking about it, there's definitely elements that you just can't always predict. And one of those elements is the way these move with the actors on them and their interactions and how they bring it alive. Like they're a little, it's like their character on its own. The world is a character of its own. And they, you know, curl up in it, and they stretch out on it, and they're laying on it. And so when I watch them play with these set pieces, I'm always really blown away by how much how much life they bring to it. So that's a really cool element that you just can't predict. The set, I will roll through some lighting cues so you can see we project onto this wall, and because all of the boxes are at different levels, all of the projections are distorted, and the faces that we bring up throughout to make points throughout are always a little bit off. They're there, but they're not. There's something wrong, you know? It's kind of that feeling. And playing with the lighting design on this wall is really cool because you've got the shadows of these boxes at different depths just fracture the boxes in different ways. And it's something that you can think will happen, but again, you don't really get it until you're in the space and you watch that light hit that wall and you're like, I thought I was going to do that, but I didn't. It's always so much more beautiful when you see it, you know? It's when it comes out of your head, it's just always so much, there's always an element of awe. And one of my favorite parts about theater, actually, as much as you can plan everything, there's some really beautiful moments where you've planned it, but you're like, it's even more beautiful than I thought it was going to be, or, you know, like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I imagined, but it went so much further on. So even as the designer, you don't always really know until you see it. Yeah. So I'll scroll through that. I just want to show you it. So the graffiti went on the side. I'll move the camera angle so you can see it. Actually, I'll do that now. And then you can see it while I'm talking about it. So that is the set. That's my design. And I'll just, we'll move it around. Thank you for watching. Okay, so this is the side of the stage. This is where I put the graffiti. I wanted it to be on the set, but kind of contained in a way, like boxed in, like it was allowed to be there in a way, but it's still kind of trapped, and that feeling of trappedness. So these are on the side of the stage. They're seen by the two audience sections that are on the side, and the front section will see it when they walk in to get to their seats. That's the kind of cool thing about this setup, is because you have audience on 3 different sides, you're essentially watching a show completely differently in those 3 sections. So with the blocking, sometimes you see some characters' faces in the backs of other characters. So when you go to the opposite side, you're seeing the opposite character. And so same with the set, you see different things from the different seats. So it's kind of neat. So I mean, if you were really excited and wanted to see the show a couple times, if you sat in different places, you pretty much get a completely different experience. So that's what's neat about this setup. And so that is the graffiti.